Most people assume small displacement cruisers are just beginner bikes, something you ride for a year and then outgrow. But when I started looking closely at the rumored 2026 Yamaha DragStar 400 direction, I realized something surprising. This kind of bike might actually make more sense now than big cruisers ever did. I've spent time comparing middleweight and heavyweight cruisers lately, and honestly, most owners rarely use the extra power. Big engines look impressive, sure, but in real traffic, city riding, and weekend cruising, they feel heavy and overkill. The DragStar 400 concept reminds me that riding isn't about numbers on paper. It's about how relaxed and approachable a bike feels every time you swing a leg over. And here's a mistake most people make. They chase engine size instead of riding experience. A practical takeaway? If Yamaha really refreshes the DragStar 400 for 2026 with modern tech but keeps the classic cruiser feel, it could hit a sweet spot. Easy to handle, affordable, and actually fun in everyday riding. Something else I noticed when comparing cruisers recently is how much weight affects confidence. Many riders don't admit it, but heavy bikes can feel intimidating in parking lots or slow traffic. The DragStar platform always had a friendlier feel, lower seat height, manageable weight, predictable power delivery. Those little things make a huge difference when you ride often, not just occasionally. What surprised me was how much cruiser riders now care about practicality. 10 years ago, it was all about chrome and engine size. Today, riders ask about fuel economy, comfort, and reliability first. And here's another misconception. People think smaller cruisers look cheap or entry-level, but the DragStar's classic proportions always looked proper. Wide bars, low stance, chunky tires. It still feels like a real cruiser. A useful takeaway here? Styling matters, but comfort matters more. A cruiser that looks good but hurts your back after 40 minutes won't stay in your garage long. I also compared modern cruiser trends, and many brands are going aggressive or performance-focused. That's cool, but not everyone wants a muscle cruiser. Some riders just want to chill. The DragStar identity always leaned toward relaxed riding, smooth throttle, calm riding position, predictable handling. And honestly, that's what many people want after a long work week. Most people miss this point. Cruising isn't about speed, it's about how stress-free the ride feels. A practical lesson? Bikes that encourage relaxed riding usually get ridden more often, and more riding equals more enjoyment. Another thing I kept thinking about is how beginner-friendly cruisers are making a comeback. Many new riders don't want intimidating machines, they want confidence first. If Yamaha updates suspension, brakes, and maybe adds small modern touches like LED lighting or better instrumentation, the DragStar could feel classic without feeling outdated. And here's where doubt comes in. Will Yamaha keep it simple or try to make it overly complex? Sometimes brands over-modernize and lose the charm. One mistake manufacturers often make is forgetting why people loved the original. Simplicity is part of the appeal. A takeaway for riders? Simple bikes often cost less to maintain and are easier to live with long-term. When I compare cruiser options today, many bikes keep getting bigger and heavier, but urban riding spaces are getting tighter. Parking, traffic, daily commuting, smaller cruisers suddenly make more sense. What surprised me is how many experienced riders I know are downsizing instead of upgrading. They want lighter, easier bikes they can ride more often. And people overlook fuel efficiency. A 400cc cruiser could offer solid range and lower running costs, which matters more now than ever. Practical insight? The best bike isn't always the most powerful one. It's the one you actually ride regularly. I also think Yamaha has an opportunity here to attract both young riders and returning riders. Someone coming back after years off riding doesn't want to wrestle a massive cruiser. Comfort, confidence, and familiarity matter, and the DragStar shape has always felt welcoming. Another misconception: cruisers are only for highway riding. Honestly, many cruisers struggle in cities due to size. A smaller DragStar could actually work better in mixed riding conditions. Takeaway here? Versatility beats specialization for most everyday riders. One more thought that stood out to me is how much modern riders care about style, but also about customization. The DragStar platform historically worked well for custom builds.
If Yamaha keeps that customization potential alive, owners could easily personalize their bikes without huge expense. And customization adds emotional attachment. People keep bikes longer when they feel personal. Here's something many miss. The bikes we remember most aren't always the fastest ones. They're the ones that fit our lifestyle at the time. A 2026 DragStar 400 done right could become that kind of bike again. Approachable, stylish, comfortable, and easy to live with. At the end of the day, cruisers shouldn't feel like work. They should feel like freedom without effort. And honestly, if Yamaha brings back the DragStar 400 with that original spirit intact, I think it might quietly become one of the smartest cruiser choices out there. Not because it tries to impress everyone, but because it simply makes you want to ride.